Hey everyone, and welcome back to Lobel Spark channel. So, this is a brand new series. I am the first guest. My name is up for the challenge. You may have seen me on a few other of the podcasts with Lobel and others, and the series is called The Spark. Now, this series is where you're going to meet creatives, effectively, whether that is painters, whether that's songwriters and musicians, whether that's actors, whether that's authors. In some way, the people that'll be on The Spark are going to be creatives. And they're also going to be people that deal with issues with their mental health. Now, I'm here because I have authored books. I have a few that are waiting to come out, which should now be happening around me, coming into focus. And then the one that is first to publish, because of course it is, of all of the academic style of stuff that I've done, the first to publish is, of course, my kids' book, because that's just how things go. So Titan, the Courageous Tiger, is my first to publish, but I do have some more adult books on things like intelligence and mental health as well that'll be coming out. But the kids' book is there. But that's why I'm here. I am an author of various different genres and types of books. As well as that, I also suffer from certain form of depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, and a litany of other issues that punish me every day, that I have to deal with, and that I would not wish on my worst enemy for many of the things that are in my head. But with those issues, I can't avoid the fact that they have given me an ability to do certain things that it appears many neurotypicals cannot do. A way of thinking, a way of focusing, a way of arranging my mind to allow me to do more. And for me, it's focus, because I am able to focus on several things at once, at the same pace, and get them to fruition, to the finish. Now, I know there are other mental health issues and there are neurotypicals that can do this to a point, but I find if you're ADHD, for instance, such as Lobel, then there are many things you might pick up, but things will fall to the wayside. You put them down because you've got a new interest that's coming forward. For me, that is not the case. My obsessive compulsive disorder allows me, to a problematic extent to sometimes, to pick things up and hold onto them and run them in the background of my mind as I'm doing other things. It allowed me to write 3 books at the same time. I was writing them simultaneously whilst also doing script writing for a YouTube channel. It's that ability that does come from my neurodivergence. Now, there may be people out there now thinking, well, I do that, or I know people that do that. To an extent, many people can. But neurodivergence are those that really push it forward. The way the mind organizes itself and allows itself is in that multifaceted way. And again, it can change and it's different between different people with neurodivergence, but that focus, that ability to zone in on one thing when it's needed, but also to be able to run the other things at the same time. That hyperfixation of one point, which definitely comes with my OCD, to hyperfixate, but still allow my mind to be working, is something that I'm thankful for my mental health issues, for my neurodivergence for, because without it, maybe I could multitask to a point, but I know that I wouldn't have the hyperfixation. I wouldn't be able to do those multiple things at that level. That's the biggest difference, is the level up, the ability to split, that I can do that at the same time. It allows me to do that. There's also the issue of boredom. This is something that I have been on the Lobel Spark podcast to talk about with others, and that's the fact that there is an idea of boredom that almost hurts for a lot of people in neurodivergence. You will have a lot of time people go, I'm bored, and they'll put on TV or they'll go for a walk or whatever. For a lot of people that are neurodivergent, boredom is almost painful, like genuinely a pain that we have to deal with. It's not something we just go, oh, well, we're just going to watch TV. Even when I do, for instance, watch a television program, I have 3 screens in front of me. Whilst I'm doing that, I will also be updating my YouTube channels for many of them to make sure that things are scheduled and going out properly. I'll also be writing and making sure that my scripts are there ready for the channels that I interact with, and potentially even writing for another new book and various other things, and occasionally doing voiceover because that's always fun. It's something that I think is underestimated as an ability. The fact that boredom is so painful, which is the con, but it means that you do more, that you can actually take hold of something and want to do several things, because you can't not. You can't just sit there. You can't just go, well, I'm going to watch a TV program, I'm going to watch a film, because you simply can't. You'll have noticed a few years ago there were so many people with fidget spinners. That's because the focus of the mind for a lot of neurodivergents simply couldn't have their mind focusing like that on one thing. It would wander, and actually having a fidget spinner or having another screen open, whatever it is, encourages the mind to focus. Now, for people that aren't neurodivergent, people that don't have this, it sounds counterintuitive. How is the mind focusing if you're taking away the focus? Well, you're not. You're not actually taking away focus. It seems like that, but you've got some kind of stim that you're playing with, or you've got something else that you're interacting with. It may seem that you're splitting your focus, that you're not actually focusing on something. But what you're doing is you're allowing that focus. You're giving something for your mind to do so that it can focus, so that it isn't dragged in other directions. And it means you do several things more. And it's such an advantage that we have for being neurodivergent. Are there the aspects of being neurodivergent, having depression, OCD, everything else that I would like to not have? Oh my God, yes. Of course there is. Of course there is. The times I wake up in the morning and don't want to be here, of course, I don't want that. It's not something I look forward to. And it's not to say that if you have mental health issues, you're going to immediately be a creative, you're going to immediately be able to do everything. It's not saying that. But it is saying that just because you do suffer or you live with these mental health issues, because you've been told these are bad, evil, no, doesn't mean that every aspect of your life is consumed by that. In fact, there are many parts of your life that will be risen up by that fact. I don't know who the next guest is going to be on The Spark, but I hope you've taken something from that and given a little bit of understanding as to why the creatives in the world, authors, actors, musicians, why we do what we do, why we have to do what we do. Because our mind is racing so much, we have to have that outlet somewhere. I chose to write. I draw as well. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm quite up to the standard of many others, but maybe one of them is going to be your next guest on this series. But I hope you've enjoyed, and I'm sure whoever is the next guest, you'll enjoy as well. Have a good rest of the week.